Hey, this thing is on. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi there. This is James MacArthur, Dr. James MacArthur here tonight, coming to you live Monday night. I gave an announcement a while back saying going live in 5, and as luck would have it, I received a phone call from a family member right after making that announcement, and yeah, that's the way it goes. So I said live in 5, and it didn't happen. But I will tell you, the life I live now is such that, family first, really and truly. I mean, you know, I wanted to do this recording. I wanted to come speak to you, and I am doing it now. But, family interjected, and that took priority at the moment. I dealt with that and attended to the situation. And now I can sit here for a few moments, and we can talk about tonight's topic, anchors away. And if you saw the Twitter auto tweet that goes out to announce this, you see the hashtags, so you understand where we're going with this. Many of you know that I'm a sailor. I love boating. I grew up near the water, and anyone who's been in the Navy, I was in the Marine Corps, but I'm a sailor for life. As far as actually sailing boats, that's the term you use when it's time to get underway, anchors away. We are pulling them up out of the ground, out of the sea floor, so that we can do what ships are meant to do, and that is to go forth. I think one of the things I see so many people struggle with, and I have struggled with at times too, is not knowing when to let go. Whether it be toxic relationships, a crappy job that no longer is serving its purpose, or whatever, and we end up inhibiting growth potential and fulfillment of who we are, who we're supposed to be, when we don't let go. We've heard the expression, every rose has its thorn. And I want you to think about that for a moment. I want you to think about how beautiful roses are when you see them growing in a nice, well manicured garden. In front of my house now has roses. Way back when I lived in California over 20 years ago, I was one of the few gentlemen I knew who tended roses. I was very proud of my rose garden, had all kinds of varieties, put a lot of work into them, learned about the different cultivars and, the type of soil they needed and the fertilization and everything. And the roses are wonderful to look at, but except for the bizarre hybrids and the GMO type ones, you're going to have thorns. So the rose is to look at, to smell the fragrance, to observe its beauty, but it's not to cling to. You don't cling to this thorny bush. The thorns are there for a reason. It's to tell you that there are limits to the purpose that this rose is supposed to serve in our experience with it. And so it is with people who enter our lives. People coming to your life different times for different reasons, for different seasons, for you to, for different purposes. Not everyone or everything that looks good, that smells good, means that it's supposed to be clung to and embraced and stuck with for life. It's so important to grasp that. It's so important to grasp that. The rose eventually fades. The petals start to turn color. They start to fall off. But you know what doesn't go away when all the petals are gone? You still have that thorny stalk. And if you're clinging to that thing, the beauty is gone, the fragrance is gone, but it can still draw blood. It can still hurt you. It can still prick you if you squeeze it too hard, not letting go in your hand. Those thorns are going to puncture your flesh and you're going to bleed. So it is with people that we hold on to that aren't the right ones for us. Maybe that person was the right one for you for a purpose, but not the continued extended relationship, whether it be platonic or romantic or whatever. Sometimes we have to learn to just let go so that we can grow. It's no offense to the person, but you're trying to go somewhere and they're not going there with you. So if you know where you're going and what you're about, and the person that you have joined up with at whatever level isn't interested in the company and he's joining you, no hard feelings, but learn to let go. I'm telling you this. I've lived long enough. that I have decent life experience and being an analytical observer. I don't just let things happen, but I try to gain insight from things that happen, things that I observe, and of course in my professional dealings and experience. I've had some training on this type of thing. So, there's no script here. So if it's a little rambly, it is what it is. But I felt moved way earlier today to just share this. As usual, there might be just one person listening to this, just one person who could gain a little morsel, a little nugget of useful, helpful information. And if that is the case, then my work here is complete. But the same thing goes for jobs, by the way. When I first got released from jail, I worked as a dairy farmer. A lot of people don't know. I had bills to pay. My house was going into foreclosure. A lot of car was repossessed and stuff. I'm not going to be a bum. I'm not going to beg for money when I can work. And there were people who helped and stuff, but I will do whatever I need to do. But for a season, that's not my lot in life. It's not my calling. It's not where I belong. But no, I had this so-called criminal record. I had this huge gap in employment and stuff. I was unhireable. But a nice dairy farmer up in Harford County, gave me a chance, and I actually had fun. I mean, I'm an animal lover, so I enjoyed, being around the cows and feeding the calves and all that other stuff and driving the big tractors, and it was fun for me. But the season came to an end, just like the natural seasons in the environment. It's not going to be summer for all year. We'll enjoy it while it's here. Do the fun things you can do in summer. Don't just complain about how hot it is, because when it gets cold, you're going to wish it was hot. And when it's hot, we wish it was cold and vice versa. But we have to just learn to let the seasons be what they are and learn to let go of them when they're departing. And sometimes when people are departing, when they've already checked out internally, when they've already checked out emotionally, we want them to be something that they are not. And that's where the conflict begins. The conflict internally, you end up having an internal existential crisis. It becomes external when you're clashing with this person. You want them to be what you think they should be for you in your life, but they have already decided what they're not going to be. And thus, the conflict grows, the toxicity increases, you're unhappy, they're unhappy, and, you end up in a not so good place. But one thing I want to say before I close this, though, there's a very disturbing trend that I see with a lot of people today when it comes to moving on or closing relationships. Some of y'all are just a little bit too harsh. You ghost people. You just ghost. You just poof, disappear. You don't stop and say, you know what? I don't think this is going in the direction I would like it to, or I'm not comfortable with this. You just ghost. You block, you unfriend. No more calls, nothing. You just disappear. That's not good. And this is something I think it's a trend more now than it used to be. There are no more Dear John letters and this type of thing. People just ghost. Don't do that. If you were, close to someone, you were interested in someone, they were interested in you, there was a level of reciprocal feelings and such. And it's just, it's over. It's not going where you want it to be. Have the maturity, the decency to at least inform that person that, you want to go in a different direction now. So that's my little tidbit. I thank you for listening. I hope that this really did help someone. I sort of had a draft in my head. I was ready to go, and then bring the phone came, and so you're getting like the secondary version an hour later, where it's not as fresh as what I wanted to deliver. But I believe the crux, the main message I wanted to convey, still came across. You can tell me about it on Twitter. You can tell me about it on Facebook, wherever you have listened to this. I believe these also go out to my YouTube channel as well. So again, thank you for listening. There's a lot going on in Baltimore politically. I know some of you who used to listen to these podcasts back in the day when they were really popular, listen for my political commentary and my crime and grime and politics talk, because you can talk about that all day in Baltimore. It's a freaking mess. Right now, primarily because of my continental travels all across this country. I'm not as connected as I would like to be. My ears aren't close enough to the ground. I haven't been in touch as regularly with my sources, so I don't feel comfortable to comment publicly as much as I used to when I was fully immersed in this. But perhaps I will, because it is a freaking mess. It's not going in a good direction. And, there's some dead weight and some dead beats that need to be cut off in that city as well. There's people in leadership who probably shouldn't be. And some of you need to think about that with the elections coming up. And the city's not doing good. I don't say that to be negative or to put it down. I say that as a professional who, gets paid to assess things and to look at things. And you have to render an accurate assessment before you can even begin to determine a solution, a resolution, a cure. You have to first be honest and sober and say it is what it is. And right now, Baltimore is a freaking mess, plain and simple. The homicides are out of hand across the board. In every measurable metric, we see that the place is down the tubes. But they're bringing back photo enforcement to make lots and lots of money, and who knows where it's going to go, because the places where the need seems greatest seem to be the ones that are going to be overlooked. But anyways, now I truly am rambling. I am going to bring this to a close. So yeah, this is my second one like this in recent times. So whoever you are listening, thank you so much. And again, give me your feedback. So until next time, signing out from the deep, dirty South, James MacArthur, asking you as I always do, what's up, Baltimore?